It is not my week.
It's mine, and Moshe disappeared.
Excuse me.
Okay.
Entschuldigt mir. Okay, if it's your week, then we are 5:58 and we're starting with Ashrei.
Okay, Sandy, you'll be my responder, please. My co-responder. As soon as you get your sitter. 558.
Got it. Ready?
Ashrei Yeshvei Beitecha Od Yehallelecha Selah.
Ashrei Ham Shekachalo, Ashrei Ham Shaddai Elohav.
Hilala David, Amemech Elohai Hamelech, Rabbecha Shimcha Le'olam Ba'ed.
Choyam Avarcheka, V'ala Shimcha Le'olam Ba'ed.
Ado Ananoi Halamed, Ligdala Tawin Cheker.
Dur L'dur Shabach Ma'asecha, Dur Techa Yagidu.
Adar Kavod Hodecha, V'divrei Niflotecha Sicha.
This is Nevertecha Yameru, Dulatcha Saprena.
Zecher Rav Tivacha Yabi, V'tzidkatecha Yiranenu.
Anubrachim Adonai, Erechapai Mugdocha said.
Tov Ananoi Lako, V'rachamavo Kol Ma'asav.
V'duch Adonai Kol Ma'asecha, V'chasidecha Yevarchucha.
Kavod Malchitecha Yameru, Ugavurattecha Yadaberu.
L'dei Livnei Hadam Gvurotav, V'chvod Hadar Malchuto.
Malchitecha Malchut Kol Olamim, Memshaltecha B'chol Dor V'Ador.
Nech Adonai L'chol HaNeflim, V'kef L'chol HaKfufim.
Einech V'alecha Yitzaberu, V'yatonoten Lahem Et Oklam B'Ito.
V'teach Et Yadecha, Maspil L'chol Charatzon.
V'adik Adonai B'chol Deracha, V'chassid B'chol Ma'asav.
Harav Adonai L'chol Karab, L'chol Asher Yikro'u B'emet.
Ritzen Rav Yatzev, V'yet Shavatam Yishma V'Yoshiem.
Tamer Adonai Et Kol Ava, V'kol Rashayim Yashmid.
V'hilad Adonai Et Aber Pi, V'yoreka B'sar Shem Kocho L'olam Va'ed.
Anachnu Nevarech Yah, Me'atav Yad Olam Hallelujah.
Ma'anak Nevarech Yah, Me'atov Yad Olam Hallelujah. Uvav L'Tzion. V'yivtechu b'chayotei shemecho, ki lo azabta derashecha Adonai. Adonai chafetz l'ma'an tzidko, yagdil terav yahadir. Yitkadav yikadash merabah.
Amen.
Yama divrach yirutei, yamlich malchutei. V'chayechon v'yomechon, v'chayedecho beit Yisrael. V'agalav izman kariv yimaruhu, amen. Yeishme rabba mevarach le'olam olam me'amaya. Yitbarak v'yishtabak v'yitbar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudesha b'richu le'lamim kol birchata v'shirata tushbachata v'nechamata damiran v'yomah v'yimaruhu, amen.
We continue with Seder Hotza'at Torah, Ki Mitzion.
Ki mitzion tetzei Torah, ki mitzion tetzei Torah, u'devar Adonai miYerushalayim, Baruch shenatan Torah, Torah, Baruch shenatan Torah, Torah, Le'amo Yisrael b'kedushato. Got Gadli Ladonai iti unaram mashma yakdav.
All right. Okay. Let's see. We have Margie. Hi, Margie, and we have Susan. Are you prepared for any of the readings? No. Okay. So, Ruth Ann, why don't you take number 1?
Sure.
It's chapter 28, verse 10. Jeffrey, what page in the Simcha in the Eitz Chaim? Chapter 28.
Page 166.
166 in the Eitz Chaim, if you have it. Chapter 28, verse 10.
And in the Hertz, it's probably something closer to like 103 or 104.
Right. We're reading the beginning of Parshat Vayetze. Okay, Ruth Ann.
Vayetze Yaakov mi be'er Shava vayelech harana. Vayivka b'makom vayalem sham kiva hashemesh. Vayikach me'avnei hamakom vayasem mira'ashotav. Vayishkach b'makom hahu. Vayachala v'hinei sulam utzav arza v'roshem magia hashamayma v'hinei malachei Elohim olim b'yordim beho.
What a beautiful text and beautiful reading. And I have to admit that of the many drawings and paintings that you see of Bible instances, this ladder of Jacob is one that is rather often depicted by artists. It has such power of a human being asleep, and there is a ladder that goes from earth to heaven with angels going up and down. Jeffrey, would you read for us the translation, please?
Jacob left Beersheba and sent out for Haran. He came upon a certain place and stopped there for the night, for the sun had set. Taking one of the stones of that place, he placed it under his head and lay down in that place. He had a dream. A stairway was set on the ground, and its top reached to the sky, and angels of God were going up and down on it.
Okay, I mean, we can go on and on and on. My good friend, Marshall, who do you have your site for? You have to unmute.
He's unmuted.
You're
Your
unmuted.
father?
I'm unmuted.
Oh, okay. Now I hear you. I couldn't hear you before. You have your site for your
Mother.
mother. So would you mind sharing with us a memory or a lesson that you learned from your mother?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, she died a long time ago, and the memories were good, and she was very loving and very, very, very passionate woman. She was part of a ladies' organization. Well, I can't think of her name now. You caught me off guard.
Hadassah, I mean, I always do this, Marshall.
Ladies Auxiliary, the auxiliary.
All right, there you go.
And yeah, she was involved with that. Her mother, Bessie Owings, was a member of Beth Jacob.
All right.
Donated a Torah there. And we lived a block apart, and they were good years.
And one thing you learned from your mother?
Maybe independence.
That's quite important. Please tell us her Hebrew name.
Razel.
And her father?
Reish Yud.
I got it. I got Basil. Okay. And her father and mother's Hebrew names.
Well, I'll tell you her mother's Hebrew name. Wait a minute. Goodness gracious.
Is she buried in Arlington at Rogers Avenue?
No. They're buried out at Finksburg,
Okay.
at the Beth Jacobs Cemetery.
Right. It's a
So
beautiful
wait a minute,
cemetery.
her mother's middle name was Edel Pessy.
Bessie and her father.
Her father did not have a Jewish name.
Okay, what
Her
was-
father was an Owings, believe it or not.
Okay.
Well,
And
Edwin Owings.
okay. המלא רחמים, שוכן במרומים, אמצעי מנוחה נכונה תחת כנפי השכינה, במעלות קדושים וטהורים, כזוהר הרקיע מזהירים את נשמת רייזל בת אדל פסח שלחה לעולמה, בגן עדן תהי מנוחתה. אנא בעל הרחמים, הסתיריה בסתר כנפיך לעולמים, וצרור בצרור החיים את נשמתה. אדוני הוא נחלתה, ותנוח בשלום המשכבה, ונאמר אמן. Marsha,
Amen.
tell me one more time your grandmother's name.
Her English name was Bessie Owings.
Bessie Owings. My goodness. Okay.
Yeah, go figure.
So please God, next year you'll tell us a little more because you'll have a year to think about it. You know, I'm going to ask you. And how old was she when she died?
My mother was 52.
Ugh,
52.
much too young. Much too young.
She went into Hopkins for an angiogram the day before Thanksgiving. It didn't come out.
I'm so sorry. Quite a shock.
Yeah.
It's wonderful to see you, Marshall. Always.
Nice to see you too, all of you.
Okay.
Cheers.
We continue on Sheni, chapter 28, verse 13. Sandy, if you please.
והנה אדוני ניצב עליו, ויאמר אני אדוני אלוהי אברהם אביך ואלוהי יצחק הארץ אשר אתה שוכב עליה לך את ננה וזרעך והיה זרעך כעפר הארץ ופרצת ימה וקדמה וצפונה ונגבה ונברחו בך כל משפחות האדמה וזרעך והנה אנוכי עמך ושמרתיך בכל אשר תלך והשיבותיך אל האדמה הזאת כי לא אעזבך עד אשר אם עשיתי את אשר דיברתי לך ויקץ יעקב משנתו ויאמר אכן יש אדוני במקום הזה ואנוכי לא ידעתי וירא ויאמר מה נראה המקום הזה אין זה כי אם בית אלוהים וזה שער השמיים.
Wow. Powerful, powerful, powerful. Jeffrey, please.
And the Lord was standing beside him. And God said, I am the Lord, the God of your father Abraham and the God of Isaac. The ground on which you are lying I will assign to you and to your offspring. Your descendants shall be as the dust of the earth. You shall spread out to the west and to the east, to the north and to the south. All the families of the earth shall bless themselves by you and your descendants. Remember, I am with you. I will protect you wherever you go, and will bring you back to this land. I will not leave you until I have done what I have promised you. Jacob awoke from his sleep and said, Surely the Lord is present in this place, and I did not know it.
One more.
Oh, shaken, he said, How awesome is this place! There is none other than the abode of God, and that is the gateway to heaven. This is
That's it. That's as far as we go. Thank you. Interesting. Again, just so intense. And I just sort of, for the first time, saw it. In his dream, God is standing up on him, over him, and he speaks. God speaks. And he understands. Okay. Another Yortzeit today. Margie, who are you having Yortzeit for? You're muted.
Okay, technologically not so brilliant. Yortzeit for my grandfather, my mother's father, Samuel Alexander Mermelstein.
Okay.
That's a mouthful.
Yeah, well, tell us one thing about this wonderful man.
He lived to be 108 months and 18 days. In fact, he died on November 30th, which was a Monday, and coming up this year, the 30th is a Monday, so it's pretty much in tune. And we knew he was getting to the end of his ropes, and we went to visit him that weekend, and we came back from Newport News and Sunday night, and Monday night, close to midnight, we got the call that he had passed away. So I guess he waited until my mother and my family got to see him one last time.
All right. And how long was the ride from here to Newport News?
About 4.5 hours.
Okay. What year was that he died?
1981, born in 1881.
Wow. Tell us a little something about him.
He was wonderful. His father was the first religious head in Newport News. He was, we used to think he was the first rabbi, but it turns out, well, they called him Reverend Abraham Ben Zion Mermelstein, but I don't think he was actually a rabbi, but he was the spiritual leader. And my grandfather led a long, wonderful life. He learned a lot. He taught us a lot. He'd take things in and he would, assess situations and he would think about them, but he always tried to keep an even keel. I remember when one of my cousins, my first cousin, was engaged to a non-Jewish girl. And I know it had to break my grandfather's heart, but he told us we all had to accept it and deal with it. And that's what happened. But he called a spade a spade. I mean, we had a cousin who actually is now like 91, and she used to be very vocal and outgoing, and he would call her the fireball. He'd call her, right to her face. And he loved when all of his nieces and nephews would come over to visit him. He always looked out for his siblings, and when they couldn't necessarily afford to put a Shabbos meal on their tables, one of his sisters had 6 children, and it was a hardship for them to make ends meet. And he always took care of them, took care of anyone who was in need of assistance, charity-wise, and
Beautiful. And
very outgoing.
Wonderful. His Hebrew name, please.
Shmuel Alexander
Ben.
ben Abraham ben Zion, Abraham ben Zion,
Right.
the Rivka.
Okay.
And my Aunt Rhea, named for Rivka, Bashrian, she's 101 and you can't keep her down. She lives in Dallas by herself and she's amazing.
I'm sure she is. And now I forgot the series of names that I committed to memory for 30
That's
seconds.
okay.
Shmuel Alexander ben
Shmuel Alexander ben Abraham ben Zion, the Rivka.
Rivka, okay. המלא רחמים, שוכן במרומים, אמצא מנוחה נכונה, תחת כנפי השכינה במעלות, קדושים וטהורים, כזוהר כי המזהירים, את נשמת שמואל אלכסנדר בן אברהם, בן ציון רבקה, שהלך לעולמו, בגן עדן תהא מנוחתו. אנא ברחמים, הסתירהו בסתר כנפיך לעולמים, וצרור בצרור חיים את נשמתו, אדוני הוא נחלתו. וינוע בשלום המשכבו ונאמר.
Amen.
Margie, last question. Was he born in America or was he an immigrant?
No, Russia.
He was born in Russia.
Yes.
And how old was he when he came to America?
Very young. And what's strange is, he was one of 8 children, I believe. And back in those days, everyone was from a large family. They had a lot of siblings. We've never been able to establish any information on his father's side.
I'll talk to Dr. Jerry Hoffman.
I know. Jerry's great with that.
Yes, he is. Okay, thank you. Ruth Ann, third reading, please.
Vayashkem Yaakov b'boker, vayikach et ha'eben asher sham mira'ashotav, vayasem ota matzeva, vayitzok shemen al rosha, vayikra et shem hamakom hahu Beit El, ve'ulam l'shem ha'ir larishonah. Vayidar Yaakov neder lemor, im yihye Elohim imadi, ushmarani baderech hazeh asher anochi holech, v'natan li lechem le'echol uveged lilbesh, v'shavti v'shalom el beit avi. V'haya Adonai li l'Elohim, v'ha'eben hazeh, asher samti matzeva yeh beit Elohim, v'cho asher titen li, aser asrenu. Lach. Sorry.
Thank you.
My thumb was over it. It went down a line.
In the first pasuk that you read, Vayikach et ha'even asher sam merashotav. Just so that you know, next time you read it. See it?
A psalm. Okay.
Yes. All right.
I have
There's
a Shechianu.
I'm sorry. Who does Shechianu?
I have a Shechianu. We
Well,
don't have
then
to say it,
tell
but
us what it is, and we'll.
Before Kenner Lichterman left, I asked him to teach me his Zarka, which has 300 notes in it,
Clearly.
and I've practiced it off and on. And for the last couple readings that I've done, I've said, if there's a Zarka in it, I'm going to give it a try.
Well, you did, and I would very happy if you stayed with the one that you've learned. Thank you, and by all means, please, Shechianu.
Wait, you mean you'd be very happy if I go back to the regular?
Yes, I would be very happy.
Well, then I will save my Shechianu for more appreciative audience.
Okay. Well, it was. I was very sort of surprised once and twice, and very unusual. Jeffrey, you need to read us the translation, please.
Early in the morning, Jacob took the stone that he had put under his head and set it up as a pillar and poured oil on top of it. He named that site Bethel, but previously the name of the city had been Luz.
Okay.
Jacob then made a vow, saying, "If God remains with me, if God protects me on this journey that I am making, and gives me bread to eat and clothing to wear, and if I return safe to my father's house, then the Lord shall be my God. And this stone which I have set up as a pillar shall be God's abode, and of all that you give me I will set aside a tithe for you."
Thank you. Thank you. It took many years for me to learn that the word tithe means tenth. Okay, and it's interesting too that from the time of Jacob to this very day, getting food to eat and clothes to wear is a full-time job. Okay, any other Mishaberachs or memorials to chant? We're good. Okay, Ruthann, please continue with explain.
Hatzi Kaddish?
No. Chatzi
No.
Kaddish comes before the Amidah.
No.
Right, remember? Page 570 at the bottom.
No,
Eitz
got
Chaim.
it.
Thank you.
Eitz Chaim hi lamachazikim ba v'tom mehushar dirache hadarche noam b'chol netivoteha shalom hashivenu Adonai elecha v'nashuva Kadesh, Kadesh Yameinu, Kadesh Yameinu Kekedem.
We continue with Chatzi Kaddish. Please rise. 572.
Yikadal v'yikadash Shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
V'yama divrach yirite v'yamlich malchute. V'chayechan v'yamechan v'chayedecho Beit Yisrael. Bahagala v'izmahan korif yimeru amen. Yesh me rabba mavara leolam olam maya.
Yitbarach.
Yitbarak v'yishtabak v'yitbar v'yiramam v'yitnatseh v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shmei dekudesha berichu leila mincho birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata gahamiran b'yalma v'meru amen.
We continue with the Amidah. We'll read it in unison through the Kedusha and conclude silently.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu Elohei Abraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor V'Nerah El Elyon Gamel Chasadim Tovim V'Konei HaKol V'Zocher Chastei Havot V'Meviko El Livnei B'neihem L'man Shemo B'Yahava Melech Ezer V'Kedim Moshe Magen Baruch atah Adonai Magen Abraham V'Ket Sarah
Amen.
Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai Mechaye Metim Atorab Le'Hoshia Mashiv HaRuach Imerid HaGashem Mechalkel Chayim Bechesed Mechaye Metim Berachamim Rabim Samech Noflim V'Rofei Cholim Umatir Asurim Mekayem Emenato L'Shenei Afar Michamelcha Baal Gevurah Tamid HaMelach Melech Memid Mechayehu Matzmeach Yeshua B'ne'eman Atah HaChayet Metim Baruch atah Adonai Mechaye HaMetim.
576. נקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מעום, הכתוב לנביאיך, וקרא זה על זה ואמר.
נקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, ככתוב ביד נביאך, וקרא זה על זה ואמר.
קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות, נכל הארץ כבודו, לעומתם ברוך ימירו.
קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות, מלך הארץ כבודו, לעומתם ברוך ימירו.
ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו, דברי קדשך כתוב לאמור.
ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו, ודברי קדשך כתוב לאמור.
ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהיך ציון לדור ודור, הללויה.
ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהי ציון לדור ודור, הללויה. לדור ודור נגיד גודלך לנצח נצחים, קדושתך נקדיש בשבחך אלוהינו, מפינו לא ימוש לעולם ועד, כי המלך גדול וקדוש אתה, ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש.
תאריך על שמך אחד מקמך ישראל מקמך ואחד בעתיד וירקדו לעולתך ושם חנתתה יא הגל יצחקר אני יעקב בן אבי נחבו חכה חתמת באמונה חת שמם שבה אשפי לפתע השלמה שאתה רוצה בה עיקר נביא למהם נבטם ועם נבטם היינו לאבותינו וצם נחתנו קדשנו וצאתך סבינו מטובך סבינו בשועתך טהר ליבנו לעבדך באמת והנחילנו אלוהינו דבר רצון שבת קודשך ומעשינו וקדשי שמך וברכותה אדוני מקדש השבת We continue with Kaddish Shalem, page 596.
יתקדש ויקדש שמי רבה.
Amen.
יעמד דברך ירתה וימליך מלכותי בחייכון ובימיכון ובחייך בית ישראל בעגלה בזמן קריב אמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם עולם מעמיה יתברך. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי לקודשה לעילם עם כל ברכתה ושירתה תשבחתה ונחמתה דמירן בימה ואמרו אמן. תקבל צלותהן ובאותהן דחה ישראל קדם אבהן בשמיא ואמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה וחיים עלינו ויעלך ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו ויעשה שלום עלינו ויעלך ישראל ואמרו אמן. עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל לתת גדולה ליותר בראשית שלא עצנו כגויי הארצות ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדם שלא שם חלקנו כהם וקרא לנו ככל המונם אנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. כי המלכות שלך היא עולמי תמלך בכבוד, ככתוב בתורתך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
Thank you. We recall our loved ones who are in our hearts and our lives, whose yahrzeit is the 4th of Kislev, Erev Shabbat, well, no, it's the 5th of Kislev, Shabbat, November 21st, 2020. Following names are listed in our perpetual memorials at Chizuk Amuno: Leonard Benish, Kenneth Blumenthal, Ray Brenner, William Brenner, Irene Cohen, Ida Kahn, Mary Cooper, Sarah Danoff, Abby Gibberman, Martha Kane, Hyman Kravitz, Morris Kruger, Sonia Lees, Vivian Lipsit, Morris Macht, Rita Meshulam, Samuel Mermelstein, Abraham Selsky. Marshall, who did we not call today? Your mother's yahrzeit is today or tomorrow?
Tomorrow night.
Tomorrow?
Yeah, it was on.
Tomorrow.
So we will call out the name for that. All right. Yahrzeit and Mourner's Kaddish is page 600. Susan, would you please lead us in the Kaddish Yatom, page 600?
Yikadal v'yikadash shemei rabbah.
Amen.
V'amad yivrach yerutei v'yamlich machutei.
V'chayacham v'chayecho
V'yeducho beit Yisrael.
Joel ba'golo v'zman kavim v'imru amen.
Yehi shemei rabbah.
Yavo nevorach v'olam v'yomei omayo.
Yitvarach
Yishtabach v'yistabach v'yamam v'yisnaseh. V'yisnadar v'yisalev v'yisalo shemei dekudusho v'ruchu.
Le'ela min kol berchata
Paso shirascho tushbechascho v'nechamaso zabinon v'yomro v'imru amen.
Yehi shalom
Lomo rabbanim im shamayo v'chaim
Aleinu
al
mi'al kol
kol
Yisrael.
Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom v'imamav
Hallelujah.
v'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen.
Amen.
Susan, do you remember the last time you davened Mariv?
I think it was last week.
Last week. And Jeffrey, when was the last time you davened Mariv?
Last week.
Last week. And Sandy?
And a
Many
whole lot
weeks.
of other things.
Many weeks ago, huh? Okay. We turn to page 200 and we'll have Sandy Bieber lead us in the Arvit service. Page 200, we rise, please.
Rachum yechaper aben v'lo yashchit, v'hirba lahashiv apo v'lo ya'ir kol chamato. Adonai Hoshia hamelch yanenu v'yom korenu. Baruch hu et Adonai hamvarach.
Adonai v'rach le'olam v'ed.
Baruch Adonai hamvarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher b'olam ha'olam. Chai v'kayam tamid u'machalenu le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai ha'ma'ariv ha'ravim.
Amen.
Avatel beit Yisrael chahav tatar. Lavadcha al tasir mimenu li'olamim. Baruch atah Adonai Ohev Amo Yisrael.
Amen.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha v'chol levavecha v'chol nafshecha v'chol modecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha v'lechtecha v'derech v'v'shachbecha v'kumecha v'kshartam liot al yadecha v'ayu latotafot b'neinecha וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך וישעריך והיה עם שמו עד ששמו למען ירבו ימיכם וימי בניכם על האדמה אשר נשבע אדוני לאבותיכם לתת להם ימי השמיים על הארץ. ויאמר אדוני אל משה לאמור דבר אל בני ישראל ואמרת עליהם יעשו להם ציצית על כנפי בגדיהם לדורותם ונתנו על ציצית תקנף פתיל תכלת והיה לכם לציצית וראיתם אותו וזכרתם את כל מצוות אדוני ועשיתם אותם ולא תתורו אחרי לבבכם ואחרי עיניכם אשר אתם זונים אחריהם למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
We continue, page 204.
אמת ואמונה כל זה וקיים עלינו כי ומלכותו ברצון קיבלו עליהם משה בני ישראל לכהן שירה בשמחה רבה ואמרו לכולם מי כמוך אלוהים אדוני מי כמוך נדר בקודש נראתי לו תוסף אלה מלכות חרוב ענך בקע הים לפני משה זה לי בנו ואמרו
אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד.
ונאמר כי פדה אדוני יעקב ולא מיד חזק ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל
Amen.
משכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום.
Page 206.
משמור צאתנו ובואנו לחיים ולשלום מעתה ועד עולם. ברוך אתה אדוני שומר עמך ישראל לעד.
Amen.
ברוך אדוני לעולם אמן ואמן. ברוך אדוני מציון שלום. ברוך אדוני ביום ברוך אדוני בלילה ברוך אדוני בשלום. יראו עיניים וישמח ליבנו ותקן נפשנו. נכון המלאכים מלך לעולם ועד. כי המלכות שלך היא עולמי עתיד לך לכבוד, כי אין לנו מלך אלא אתה, ברוך אתה אדוני, המלך בכבודו תמיד למחלנו גם ויביא על כל מעשיו.
Amen. We rise, Chatzi Kaddish 208.
יתגדל ויקדש שמי רבו.
Amen.
ועמד יברח חירותי וימליך מלכותי בחייך ובימיך ובחיי לכל בית ישראל, בגלה בזמן קריב אמרו אמן.
Amen. Yesh Rabban Barach L'Olam Almaya.
יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי לקודשה בריחו. לילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תשבחתה ונחמתה גם ירום ביומה ואמרו אמן.
As we recite the Amidah, please remember on page 212 at the top of the page, the first paragraph indented, is to be recited for Motzei Shabbat or 213 if it is recited in English. Okay, Sandy, I think we're good for Kaddish Shalem, please.
Page 222. יתגדל ויקדש שמי רבו.
Amen.
ועמד יברח חירותי וימליך מלכותי בחייך ובימיך ובחיי לכל בית ישראל, בגלה בזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. שמי רבו מבורך. וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי לקודשה Leila min kol brachata v'shirata tishbachata v'nechmata damiram b'yama v'imaru. Amen. Tikabel tzadhan uvadhan. L'chol Yisrael kadama v'hundi v'shmaya v'imaru. Amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'yakol Yisrael v'imaru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'mramav. Hu yaseh shalom. Aleinu v'yakol Yisrael v'imaru. Amen.
We turn to page 700 for Havdalah. Havdalah is another act of consecration, marking the end of Shabbat and the beginning of the weekday. We mark that by fire and then spices. You know, even when Yom Kippur ends on the middle of the week, we do not use spices. It is only Shabbat. And even though when Yom Kippur falls on Shabbat, we fast. Otherwise, we're not to fast on Shabbat. So, go figure.
Okay.
I was surprised to find out. And Thursday, December 10th, we light the first Hanukkah candle. There you go. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. That wasn't clever. Borei minei besamim.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei meorei ha'esh. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, המבדיל בין קודש לחול, בין אור לחושך, בין ישראל לעמים, בין יום השביעי לששת ימי המעשה. ברוך אתה אדוני, המבדיל בין קודש לחול. מבדיל בין קודש.
בין קודש לחול,
חטאותינו ימחול, זרענו וכספנו ירבה כחול. מקרבים בלילה, שבוע טוב, שבוע טוב, שבוע טוב, שבוע טוב. הגות אבוך, שבוע טוב, שבוע טוב. אליהו הנביא, אליהו התשבי, אליהו, אליהו הגלעדי, במהרה בימינו יבוא אלינו. משיח בן דוד, משיח בן דוד, אליהו הנביא, אליהו התשבי, אליהו, אליהו הגלעדי. עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל.
Yotzer Breshit, Shelo Asanu Kugoye Haratzot, Helo Samanuk Mishpachad Adama, Shelo Samchakenu Kahem, Vigoralenu Kechol Hamonam, Anachnu Korim Mishtachavim Umodim, Lifnei Melech Malchem Lachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Okay, Nikolai Adonai Eloheinu. L'fanech Adonai Eloheinu yichru v'yipolu v'lichvod shimcha yikar yiteinu v'kablu chulamadol machutecha v'timluch aleihem me'era li'olam v'ed ki hamachut shelcha hi ul me'ad timluch b'chavod kakatu b'toratecha Adonai yimluch li'olam v'ed v'ne'emar v'haya Adonai l'melech al kol haaretz Bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shmo echad.
We recall our loved ones with love and who are present in our hearts and our minds and who are listed for the 6th of Kislev, Sunday, November 22nd, 2020, and the perpetual memorials at Chizuk Amuno. Samuel Berger, Philip Cantor, Joseph Cohen, Magda Coves, Howard Layton, Emmanuel Parker, Eileen Sachs, and Marshall, was mom's name listed or named? Would you tell us her English name, please?
Ruth.
Ruth, and her last name?
Well, yeah, Owings Janoff.
Owings Janoff. Okay. Ruth Owings Janoff. Excellent. Would you lead us in the Mourner's Kaddish on page 226, please?
Try.
Okay.
Yit Gadav Yiskadash.
Ashmei Rabbo.
Rabba Bioma Divarach.
Roku say Vimla.
Malchute. B'chayi
Chayin B'chol B'chaye D'chol.
Chaye D'chol Beit Yisrael. V'Gala.
All these man.
Van Vimaru. Amen.
Amen.
Yeholam Ulam Meomaya. Yiparak Yishtabah.
Arvius from Mom.
Say. Yitatar Yitalev Yitalal Shemei B'Kudashah.
Baruchu. Leelo.
Min Kol Birchata. Tishbarat Rata.
Ishbachoso. Menachamoso. Tabimo.
Amiram Yoma V'Yomei. Yehesh Lama Rabba
Rabba Mim Shomayo.
B'Chaim Aleinu V'Yakol Yisrael. V'Imru Amen.
Amen.
Say Shalom V'Imru Aseh Shalom Aleinu V'Yakol Yisrael. V'Imru Amen.
Amen. Amen. Amen. Thank you all. Tomorrow we meet at 9:30 for morning services. And just again to share with you something that I personally find wonderfully exciting. If we assume that the texts that we have in our canon and our Bible are indeed so powerful, and there is no other book that's been as translated and read in the world as our Bible. The opening chapters of this Parsha Vayetze just, I mean, to me, light the darkness in a way that I can't describe. And just go back to it and read it, and it opens all kinds of wonderful doors within me. Now you know something else included. And wishing you all a sweet and wonderful week. December 10th, we light the first Hanukkah candle. And that 25th day of Kislev, you should know, was especially waited for by Judah Maccabee. He wanted to wait for the day that the Syrian Greeks, Antiochus IV, put the statue of Zeus in the temple. And we celebrate Hanukkah on the day that the temple was defiled. So, and he waited a long time. So, and with that, I wish you all a sweet Shavua Tov, Agotavoch. If you're driving, drive safely. If you're walking, be twice as safe. And please God on happy occasions. And Marshall, we hope to see you a little more often. And just you press one button, and you're with us.
Thank you.
Sir. Nadia, Shavua Tov. Thank you, Margie. Write those stories up. They're incredible. Thank you, thank you. And thank you, Jeffrey Davis. Outstanding, outstanding. Shavua Tov. Good luck. Jeffrey, you good? I can't hear a thing you're saying.
Yes, and have a good evening.
Indeed,
And I
likewise.
take back everything I said while I was muted.
Imagine that. So what did you say? Probably the secrets of the universe.
Most likely, I wasn't listening myself. I should listen more carefully.
No.
Moshe,
Yes,
I wanted to
Nadia.
wish you, I wanted to let you know, in Arabic we say Gomaita Khadra. Gomaita, I mean, may your wheat be green. That's the saying that they say after Shavuot Tov.
And one more time, slowly.
Gomaita, Goma is a week.
Gomaita.
Khadra is green.
Uh-huh.
May your week be green, meaning
Amen,
prosperous.
amen. Gamarta Khadra.
Yep, that
Close enough?
Khadra,
Khadra.
exactly,
Khadra. Gamaita Khadra.
right,
Inshallah.
inshallah. All right,
Thank
careful.
you. Thank you, Nadia.
Wish Nancy happy birthday.
Thank you, darling. I will, I promise.
Take care.
Thank you. And Jeffrey, thank Mom. She wrote me a lovely note on my Haftarah reading.
Okay.
And, you know, funnily enough, quotes professional, it's still scary. And, you know, never as you wanted it to be.
It came across as if you were a natural.
A natural what?
Well.
The funny thing is, as I was complimenting Rabbi Wexler, she seemed a little taken aback because I usually don't address her, but it was important for me to say it. It was very moving bar mitzvah, and it was such a treasure for all of us experiencing the moment, and for the family to experience it too, and the loving presence of the congregation. It was very, very special. So I felt compelled to speak, and I did, and now I'm going to get a beating about it.
Yeah. It's hard to. You spoke from the heart, I think. So.
Yes, I did.
Very good.
No doubt about it.
Anyway, good luck with that one then.
Yeah, no, it's all right. You know, at some point you've got to, you know, man up to what you believe in and do
Moshe, don't ever stop speaking what's in your heart.
Thank you, Nadia. I love you. You're beautiful. Thank you, Nadia.
Okay, wishing you all a good evening.
You too, my friend.
And a Gamaita Hadra.
Gamaita Khadra.
Gamaita Hadra. Khadra. Thank you,
That's
Nadia.
why the Saudi Arabian flag is green. Green is good.